Welcome to the KDFL Fantasy Football Podcast. It's me, Brett Steele, and I am joined once again by Mr. Jonathan Detroit Haynes. How's it going, man?
Yo, yo, yo. I'm back on the river. We're back home in Elkview. Ready to get this show going. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. I have on good authority this is his last missed show. I told him we could not afford this much paternity leave. If we had 40 listeners, maybe, but only with 30. We just don't have that type of budget. So I think Mr. Phil and all his production glory is going to come back next week. What do we have on the docket today, sir?
All right, this week, well, we're going to start out with our week 5 recap, like we always do. Then after that, we have a segment where it's called "A Hill You're Going to Die On" for like a unpopular sports opinion. Could be anything. I think it's going to be a little bit fun. I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of blowback for my issues. And then we'll do our week 6 predictions and our locks of the week.
All right.
So
take it away.
Roll.
KDFL week 5. Take it away.
Let's roll. This first game.
Yep. There we go.
We start in Hurricane as the Dunbar Dobermans winless go into Hurricane. Or is it Hurricane? I never understand why.
Because of where you're from.
Anyways, they go on the road to try to get their first win, and Josh Allen drops a whopping 40 points on that terrible Kansas City defense. When you look at the Wampus Cats, not much to look at except for Justin Herbert this week, 47 points. Kyler Murray with the pedestrian 14 points. The Dobermans actually pull this one out, and he left 141 points on the bench, but he had enough from his starters to get his first victory of the year.
That's it. There's not a winless team now. Awesome. So next we go to your hometown, Elkview, where you are hosting the Kanawha County Kings. More on this later, but Monday night was the Lamar show as he scores 46. Kareem Hunt is paid off early for the trade that the Kings had with the Barons. He pours in 26 of his own. Devontae Adams appeared to be the only target in Cincinnati for the Packers this past week. He scores 38, and the River Rats score. Is this a team career high for the River Rats?
I don't know that. I'm pretty sure I've had it 300 a couple times. That's something I'll have to check into.
Rare air as the River Rats win. That was hard to say. River Rats win 314 to 198.
Next, we go with the Bearded Bastards on the road, taking on his arch nemesis, the Wake Forest Lumberjacks. This is basically far right versus far left.
Why?
And man, I think the Bearded Bastards might be a little bit snake bitten this year. They came in with probably the most stacked team or stacked roster. He loses CMC for a while. Now he's got Russell Wilson out for, I don't know, was it 8 weeks possibly? The Lumberjacks, they just killed it. You have Matt Ryan scoring 24 points. Where'd that come from? Derrick Henry with 31. He had quite a few players that get over 20 points this week as he takes down the Bearded Bastards by 66 points.
Next, we go to Marmette, where the Midnight Riders host the Renegades, and it's our return of one of our favorite players in the history of the KDFL pod. Andre Eckler scores 33. He looked dominant. And then, who else has looked dominant the past 2 weeks? Jonathan Taylor, 32 points for him. He looked like, legit what he was drafted as, the big power running back with a lot of speed. Also, shout out Kyle Pitts. Welcome to the NFL. He scores 27. Oh, but it was a nice balanced attack by the Marmette Midnight Riders because their next two highest are old Teddy B Bridgewater with 20 and Justin Jefferson with 19. He also left 100 plus easy points on the bench, but came away with the win, even though the Renegades made it late early or made it close late. Wow, made it late early. Made it close late on Monday night. They still lose to the Marmette Midnight Riders 236 to 244.
Next, we have the Cross Vegas Gamblers, the defending champs, going to visit the undefeated South Hills Evil Empire. We have Tom Brady going off 43 points. He also got a whopping 5 points out of Daniel Jones, but it didn't matter as his team put up 290 points against the Evil Empire, and that's going to win you most weeks. You look at the Evil Empire's roster this week, Mahomes was a little disappointed with 19. You also have to look at the projections last week. The Evil Empire was projected to score 241.6, and they scored 241.88. So just wasn't enough. And the Las Vegas Gamblers get a much-needed win to go 3-2 as the Evil Empire get their first loss of the season.
Now, what's up next?
The game of the week.
It's the game of the week. Oh, the Melbourne Mega Powers have the Polka Pharmacist in town. This game had everything. It had intrigue. It had the pharmacist trying to pull out all the stops. They traded away a first rounder to try to beat me. They gave up a Zeke, basically, we'll call it, based on the going rate. Gave up a Zeke. That's how bad the Savage Bowl. That's how bad you want to win the Savage Bowl if you're the pharmacist or the Mega Powers. Gave up a Zeke, screwed up the trade, had the commissioner do what he always does and favor one team more than another and push it through anyway. Shout out Phil. I had your back. Push it through. Use magical powers.
Commissioner powers.
Yeah, to force it through. People. Yeah. Oh, Cousins contributed a whopping 13 points. Thanks for coming out. On the Mega Power side, Dak Prescott does what he always does. Comes through, 23 points for him. Mike Evans, actually leading scorer for the pharmacist, had an amazing game with 29. Even first-round Zeke poured in 25 himself, trying to really just make those first-round picks flying out the door worth it. Oh, but then who came through? Who came through on Monday night? Mr. 2021 draft hot topic himself, Mark Andrews with 42 points. Mark Daddy Andrews puts the Mega Powers over the top. And this one, honestly, if we're being real, some people shine under the bright lights. Some people curl up into a fetal position and just hope they go away. If we look, thanks for coming out, Mark, but it might not even be necessary. 226 to 185. Sometimes you just have people's numbers. It is what it is.
I have to ask you one thing about this game. Did you have some evil genius plan because you're the biggest Kirk Cousins, I want to say, not say fan, but you're his biggest defender. You're always defending him, telling him how great he is for fantasy.
Didn't we do this before?
And I know, and then someone
We've done this before. Yeah.
Trade some to play against you. You must be listening to the podcast. We appreciate it. And then it just backfires.
Look, in Melbourne, we're not really have championship aspirations. Okay. There's a few games out there I want to win. Want to beat you, of course. Would love to give the commissioner a run. My record against Nick is terrible. LJ might have passed you this week with the smack talk, with the disrespect. He may have passed you this week on the rivalry rankings. But guess what trophy's coming home to me? I don't know how clear this is. Yeah, it's clear as day, baby. That trophy is coming home. Mega Powers improved 2 and 3, and that's your KDFL week 5.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, so you look back at this week, these games. I don't know if you want to talk about fantasy or actually the NFL.
I do.
Games.
I would on this fantasy football podcast. I would like to talk about it.
Okay. Well, is there a particular game or anything you want to talk about?
Well, you had a point, I thought, and then I derailed you.
No, I was just going to say there was a few things I wanted to touch on. Like I have to do it every week now. The Chargers and Justin Herbert.
Justin Trash Herbert, he's referred to as.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Justin Trash Herbert. He's not that good. I keep hearing that. What's your thoughts? Are the Chargers for real?
You don't get me started on this because we're gonna avoid talking about what I always talk. Okay, we'll mix a little bit of both, right? NFL and fantasy. This dude, this Brandon Staley, I think I'm in love. I think I'm legitimately I think I'm in love.
Yeah.
I'm so mad we
I like
hired Arthur Smith now. And Arthur Smith's been doing well. The team's been improving week after week, whatever. But this Brandon Staley is doing exactly everything. If old Brett was down there coaching up his team, he's going for it all on every fourth down, basically. He's hardly kicking any field goals. He's hardly kicking any extra points. Oh, that was a wild game. Wild.
In the end, the Browns have a really good defense, too.
Stefanski's right up there with him in the same vein.
Yeah.
Stefanski has a nice little mix because he focuses on the run game a lot, which is very nice to see. That's a little more old school in my book. Yeah,
Russell Wilson getting hurt this week. That's going to hurt a lot of people in fantasy.
I said this because I know I talked about it and it's weird when I always bring everything back to myself, but I did legitimately have that injury. That's why I showed my finger. That's the most athletic I've felt in years. Russell Wilson having the same injury that I once had in my life. That's the most athletic I've felt in years.
Yeah, but what did you tell us? You didn't miss any time?
I played the next week, Russ. I was out there snapping the ball the next week.
That's right.
No, it's actually terrible because you can't. It doesn't hurt. He can't close it. Like I didn't get my full range back until I'm going to say almost a year. But you can't. He can't close it. But he'll have the surgery, so he won't look like a deformed idiot like I do with my hand. So yeah.
I mean, when I think athletes, I think of Brett Steele on the same page as Russell Wilson.
I mean, it's basically the same.
Yeah, it's basically the same.
Our fingers are just as strong.
Yeah.
That's a fact.
Yours might be even stronger.
That's a fact. I played next week. Oh, let's talk. I know you don't want to do like a whole state of our team segment, but let's talk about the Lions real quick. Dude, it's going exactly according to plan. I know you don't like it. It's exactly according to plan.
I mean, I just want to see them get one win this year.
They're going to get one win. They play. Hey,
I hope
they play.
Man, they're getting killed with injuries. They just lost their All-Pro center. That's not going to help. We have no wide receivers as it is. What's going on with TJ Hawkinson?
That's strange.
He doesn't even throw. He throws it to Swift all the time.
Well, check down. He's got to check it down.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a brutal way. Hey, and I know we're going to harp on it. Field goals was the name of the game. Get them out, guys. They're useless. They're so annoying.
I love it.
It was a perfect week. It was a perfect week for my argument. You have to agree.
I still like it.
It was a perfect week of games being decided by very unathletic, not mainstay players of the teams. And
not athletic. I'm sure it's pretty hard to kick a football.
I mean,
be accurate.
As athletic as the other players on the team. Let's say that.
But you have a good field goal kicker. You have a great weapon. Look at Baltimore.
Well, they do. But I will say this, man. If we just if the Falcons just hold on against the football team, we're exactly where I wanted to be. I said 3-2, and we go to the bye 2-3. We go to Miami. I'll be in the stands, not this week, but next. We're going to bye week this week. I'll be in the stands in Miami. Hopefully, we get the W because the Dolphins haven't been very impressive this year.
Who are you going with?
The wife is going to this one.
Nice.
Yeah, the wife is going to this one. So should be a great time. I love that both teams are not doing well because the tickets are going down in price after that expensive Bucks trip.
I take it you haven't bought the ticket yet?
No, because I want to see what they do.
Good call. I
want the Dolphins to lose this week, and we'll try again.
All righty.
What else do you have in the NFL?
I don't. Not a whole lot. I mean, Tampa Bay bounced back. I still don't like their defensive backs, but they get healthy later on in the year. Probably be just like last year. Cowboys offense looks legit.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who they got this week. I think it might be some. Yeah.
My computer just went out on me.
The Patriots. They got the Patriots.
Yeah, I knew they had a tougher defense this week.
So that'd be interesting to see. Cardinals still undefeated. And the Bills. Got to talk about the Bills. I think,
Did the torch get passed in the AFC?
I think the Chiefs' problem is obviously their defense. We know their defense is terrible. I saw somewhere, it might have been on ESPN or somewhere, where they talked about, it might have been Orlowski, talking about how the Rams' greatest show on turf is considered like the greatest offense of all time. Well, the Chiefs' defense has given up more yards and points than what that offense was scoring that year. So that's historically bad. The Bills, I have to say, is probably the best team in the league, even though the Cardinals are still undefeated. But yeah, I think Mahomes is trying to do too much too.
And I'm telling you, I'm worried about the recipe being out there. If you can slow Hill, I mean, it's not easy to do.
Right.
If you can take Hill out, it seems to be a little bit of trouble because the rest of the
Everyone's
weapons.
doing. Everyone watched that Tampa Bay Super Bowl, and that's what they
Well, that
did
was more
basically.
about the line. Well, it was more
Well,
about
yeah, but
getting
they
to him.
did focus on shutting down Hill in that game.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, I'm gonna play name this player with you real quick. Okay.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
Joe Namath.
Last 2 weeks. It's a current quarterback. Last
Oh.
2 weeks. PFFF grades of 85.6 and 89.1, QBR of 92.7 and 88.2, 74% completion percentage, 709 yards, 5 touchdowns, no picks.
Is this a Matt Ryan?
Ah! This is Matt
Ryan. I always go with Matt Ryan. I'm sorry, people.
Dude, it feels good to have him playing well, at least for a little bit here. So, all right. Anything else on the actual NFL games?
No, not really. Nothing much.
Okay.
Like you said, field goals was a big thing this week.
Field goals, they're going to do it less and less. I'm telling you. And I spoke it into fruition.
Yeah. All right.
Now, this segment is going to be a little bit ludicrous.
Yeah, it's going to be.
The hill you die on. Now, for the sake of everybody, Detroit's going to go first here, but for the sake of everything, we know a lot of my main gripes. We know the field goal thing, which we already joked about a few times today. So we're going to leave that one out. Everybody knows how I feel about that. So obviously that's not going to be mine.
Yeah, and I've touched on things like I think baseball should go adopt the DH for everything, but I didn't do anything like that. But okay, so this hill that you're going to die on is supposed to be for something that's like an unpopular opinion that most people wouldn't think. And my number one thing, and I can already hear the people yelling at the screams and calling me an idiot. Bill Belichick is overrated.
Oh, that's so stupid.
I think he's a good coach. I don't think he's great as everyone thinks he is. And let me back it up with some facts here. My man is 282 and 139. He has a 670 winning percentage. However, with Brady had a 77 winning percentage with the Patriots. Without Brady, Bill Belichick is 63 and 75. He went 36 and 44 with the Cleveland Browns. Before Brady took over in New England, he was 5 and 13. Last year he was 7 and 9. Yeah, I know it was a short, COVID year, whatever. He's 2 and 3 this year. His drafting is so overrated. He's only had one Pro Bowler since 2013. And for any of you schmucks that want to say, well, that's how good a coach he is. They made the playoffs during those years. That's because of Brady and what Brady brings to the table. I'm not saying he's terrible. I'm just saying he's not as great as everyone tries to make him out to be. And his record shows that before Brady and after Brady. So, what's your thoughts?
It's not like they're playing with the same deck.
I get that. What did Brady do in Tampa? They hadn't made the playoffs in 13 years.
Okay, but if Brady is because if Brady, I'm doing just devil's advocate here because I don't believe Belichick's whatever. But say Belichick just goes to the Bucs and Brady has to quarterback that New England team. They're not doing anything. The one that Cam had, they're not doing anything.
Yeah, but I get tired of saying, well, they both deserve equal amount
of respect. They do both deserve equal.
No, they don't.
Both of them.
Does Phil Jackson get all as much credit as Michael Jordan does? No, he doesn't.
No, it's different, though, because both Brady and Belichick stole that film. Both of them covered it up. It was a joint effort. It was a joint effort.
No, I'm not buying it. Brady has more to do with the Patriots' success than Bill Belichick did. That is a fact. It's obvious.
I will give you that Brady's approach to the team philosophy of the game has almost maybe a majority because he's not the most physically gifted quarterback we've ever seen, but his ability to work within the team, take less money, and then still execute at a very high level, obviously. I think that is the main key contributor. And Belichick is primarily a defensive mind, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't know. I just think, like I said,
after this there would have been a spicier argument if this last year hadn't happened Because after this last year, it's kind of hard to lead with Bill. It's also unfair because one of them gets to still play and still, one of them's coaching. You know what I mean? He can only do so much. One of them it can literally affect the game, on the field. So I don't know. I hate them both.
I just don't, like I said, I don't believe that he deserves as much credit as Brady. He has to show it to me. Like, do something without Brady.
Are you of the belief that Brady becomes Brady no matter who he's under? Not no matter who. Okay, say Brady. Who? Mike Shanahan. Let's just throw out a respected coach in that era. You think he becomes Brady still? I
think he does. I don't know if he wins 7 Super Bowls.
Well, no, he doesn't.
But I definitely think he would be great because it was in him. All it took was a chance to get in there.
My God, I'm going to throw up. I'm going to throw up. It was in him.
It was. He has the leadership skills. Players buy into him. He's just the best. I just love saying
I love that we spun it. I love that we spun it all the way back to Brady, of course. Where were those leadership skills at Michigan?
He did really well at Michigan. That last season, man, he took off, won a lot of games, won the Orange Bowl against Alabama. Hey, he did well.
All right. So, I hate that I also did an overrated for my main one. All right.
Watch it be about Brady.
It's not about Brady. I'd be sick. That would be awful if I did it. No, it's not. Who would you say is the most overrated franchise in sports? From a whole standpoint, from a whole, let's say last 30 years, standpoint, our sports lives, basically.
Well, mine's a lot longer than yours.
Well, as I said, 30 years.
Okay, I know.
Modern sports era. Great radio.
Man, that's tough. I might go with the Lakers.
What? They have a ton of champions. They have a 3-peat in there.
Well, you're saying you asked me the question.
Okay, I mean, narrow it down. I did. I didn't expect you to go with people that actually rattled off a ton of championships. All right, let me go. Okay, it's fine. Let me narrow it down. NFL franchise, the most overrated NFL franchise. Who would you say? I hope if you say mine, I'm going to be so upset.
Well, if it's NFL overrated the last 30 years, it's got to be the Dallas Cowboys.
It's not the Dallas Cowboys. Again, 3 championships in there.
They haven't won 3 championships in the last 30 years, have they? Yeah, I guess in the 90s.
The 90s.
Yeah, my bad.
Let me tell you,
everybody.
Let me tell you, the most. I really wish our cohort was here. The Green Bay Packers are by far and away the most overrated franchise in the NFL in all of sports. They are propped.
Can we cut this? Can we rewind and cut this so I can agree with you?
No, because if you guess mine, it makes it less powerful. If you guess mine, it makes it less. It's a shock moment less. The most overrated franchise in all, not just NFL, I think all of sports, propped up by 2 great quarterbacks that they wasted. Let me hear that again. That they wasted them. 1 championship apiece is not enough. Let's say this right now. Let's do some examples. The Niners had an all-time great quarterback. They got 4. And then tacked 1 on with another great quarterback right after.
Yeah.
The Patriots had an all-time, maybe the all-time greatest quarterback. They got 7, and 3 or 4 of them were done on the up and up. We're done legally. I love you.
I like it. I just hate that.
You do like it.
I just went with Lakers, and I went.
Oh, it's fine. Yeah, the Patriots won 7. 4 of them they did legally. Now, I mean,
I see what you're saying.
What would you say are the 5 top NFL franchises the last 3 years? I'm going to go in their particular order: Patriots, Steelers, Cowboys, Niners, Packers. Probably right. I'm missing one.
Why would you go Cowboys? They haven't really done
last 30 years. Last 30 years.
Oh, 30. Yeah. But have they?
Yeah.
I mean, the 90s they won some.
Who else would you put in that realm of known as the historical franchises, like the bedrocks of successful franchises? It's the Packers.
Yeah.
And this shouldn't be. Okay, let's put it like this. You won 1 with Favre. You won 1 with Rodgers so far. Big Ben's won 2 with the Steelers, and I don't think he's anywhere near the caliber of quarterback that those two are. As I
And
think
he
most
had to
people
go
would agree.
against, and he had Peyton and Brady in
Yeah.
his conference.
Yes, he did.
So
All Rodgers had was Matt Ryan. Sorry. Now, now let's look at it. Let's look at it in vacuum. People say, well, they won championships. I think it's a waste. Rodgers only wins 1 championship.
yeah, I agree. 100%.
I think it's a waste if Favre only won 1. Think if Mahomes stays at this MVP level for another 10, 12 years, and they only get the 1 they got, that's going to be looked at like a waste.
I agree.
So there it is. Green Bay Packers. The biggest. I used to say Rodgers. I used to say Rodgers was the most overrated player in the NFL because of his accolades and no results. And then I did a little bit deeper. I thought about it a little bit more. It's not Rodgers. It's the Packers. Packers themselves, they handle these quarterback situations. They've handled them terribly twice now. How do you not learn? Yeah.
Okay, can I go back and touch on my Lakers comment?
Yes, correct yourself.
The only reason why I said that was because besides Kobe, none of it was like homemade talent that they drafted or whatever. They pretty much just bought players and got players that come over like LeBron and Shaq.
I get it.
That was just my reason.
Well, you also didn't know where I was going with it.
It was a bad take, but
well, you didn't know where I was going with it either.
Yeah, true.
So yeah, so it's kind of my fault to think about. All right.
Okay.
What's you got? Any other stupid ones?
Yeah, this one's kind of out there, but all right, I'm gonna go to Major League Baseball, and my rant is: I think all baseball fields should be the same exact dimension.
No.
What?
That's one of my stupid ones that you're supposed to laugh at.
That is awesome.
Are you kidding me?
I am dead
They
serious.
should all be the same. This is bullcrap, but they're not. I took it one step further to stay stupider, by the way, but go ahead.
But yeah, the reason why is look at football. It's the same field. Basketball is the same court. Why do baseball get to make their dimensions different? Now you're just I don't know. I just think
there's nothing more frustrating than when somebody pops out the warning track, and then the next thing that comes up is they show that player that popped out their home field, and they go, "Well, that would have been a home run at blank part." That's bullcrap. It should be universal. Same. I cannot believe I'm rubbing off on you. I cannot believe that you went there. Okay, you ready for me to take that one step further with the Brit stupidity? If baseball stadiums can be different sizes, I want NBA courts to be customizable. I want the Warriors to get to play. I want the Warriors to get to play with a 40-foot 3-pointer and nothing else. I want the side dimensions to be different. Think how absurd it would be. It'd be hilarious.
I agree, man.
The team with the tallest players get a 13-foot rim. Amazing.
I cannot believe we had the same exact thing.
Oh my God. I cannot believe that you had the baseball field.
Oh, that's hilarious.
God, go ahead.
I have a couple little ones. No one really cares about. One thing I hate in the NBA, I think should be outlawed, is you can't advance the ball in a timeout. I think that's stupid.
I agree.
You're just kind of rewarding offense.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't like that. Another one that I had, and nobody will even care about this, is I think the NHL should do their rinks like the international. I don't know if you're too familiar with it. The international rinks are wider. They're like 98 and a half feet wide, where the NHL is only 85. So when the Olympics happen and you have like the best players going against each other, there's so much more action because there's more ice.
Right. They do. I feel like okay. So I've just started probably the last 2 years, really watching NHL consistently. Like last night I stayed up for go Knights, go baby. I stayed up for the Golden Knights game.
Red Wings.
I stayed up for the Golden Knights game with the Kraken and all that good stuff. So I've really gotten into it, but it amazes me that an NHL goal was ever scored. They seem like they're so crowded and on top of each other. I don't understand. And with I just pinged up. Here's one of my biggest sports heroes to die on. And if Keith's listening, I hope that he just had the same bell go off because we've argued about this before many times. Offsides in NHL and soccer is the dumbest rule in sports.
In soccer.
Why do I have to have the first? Well, I don't understand why the person with the ball / puck has to be the first across the line. That's stupid. That's not in the NBA, and the NBA doesn't even have goalies. I have someone down there whose specific job is to stop that.
You're going to probably be too young to remember this, but they used to have. They might still have the red line there at center ice.
Yeah,
that goes across.
Yeah.
Before it was illegal to do a 2-line pass.
Okay, I've heard of that. Yeah.
It was so dumb. They finally got rid of that, which made it open up a little bit more. But the players and everything have gotten bigger and faster. And I just think the NHL rinks are just a little too small. And I think if you widen it up.
When you argue that, the offsides rule, to most hockey fans, they get pissed. They get legitimately mad. Like, no, I don't understand it, dude. I don't just let him go. I want some scoring. I would understand it if there was no goalie. But you have somebody designed to stop the puck.
Yeah.
Like and then say like, oh, you'll be a man down on defense, and somebody just waits down there. Basketball, that doesn't happen. Somebody just doesn't wait on the other side of the rim for somebody to hit him the ball.
Right.
So, I guess they don't want to see like 15 to 12 hockey games and stuff like that. But yeah, offsides, hate it.
Anyone more? I got like maybe one more.
No, because I cannot believe we had the baseball field. I'm still a little rattled from that. Go ahead. That's insane.
I am going to.
You're rattled too.
I'm going to advocate for.
What have I become?
I'm going to advocate for PEDs to be allowed in baseball.
I thought about doing this one.
Not in football because you're actually hitting each other in contact and all that. But
Chicks digs a long ball.
Yeah. Why? If someone's willing to put that in their body, I don't understand why we care.
Well, because pitchers should get to use it too, right? Juice pitching.
Right. No, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with the pitchers using that sticky stuff, whatever it's called, the thing that they were complaining about this year.
The tack.
The tack,
yeah.
I'm fine with that. But whatever.
I was also completely fine, and I guess I got a little bit lost. I was also completely fine with the stealing of signs, but it went over the line. But it went over the line with the use of electronics. But I think some people are just mad about stealing of signs in general. I kind of abandoned ship on that take when I realized they were using electronics. But steal signs, hide them better.
But yeah, that's basically all I got.
Yeah, I don't have anything else either. That's pretty fun. It was a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be. I cannot believe at least we got the field moment. Okay.
So go ahead, people. Give me your hate.
I want to get the reactions to those. I'm sure it'll be all positive all the time. And I also want to hear some that we have left out.
Yes, absolutely.
I want to hear some people's creative ones.
Like I said, I didn't want to do generic ones like make the DH for both leagues. That's there's a lot of people believe this.
And like we did in the chat, NFL football, both teams need to possess the ball. That's pretty. I don't even think it's because we were trying to do controversial. We try to do things that people don't agree with. I think most people would agree that both teams should touch the ball. Now, back by popular demand, almost getting more of now. Brett's big brain segment. Now, this one's out there. This was going to be one of mine, but then Tim hit on it in the chat. This was going to be one of mine for a future week. NFL teams, and I'm going to expand on it with this actual week's. NFL teams and, football teams in general need to practice and focus more on lateraling the ball more. You could set that up so you could get so much more, and especially at the beginning when the defenses won't be ready for it, you're going to have some disaster plays that go horribly wrong, fumbles, intercepting the lateral, whatever. But they want to be looking for it at first. Lateraling, that's hard to say. The ball more needs to be a focal point in these returns and in these regular plays. Regular passes with design laterals need to make it part of your offense. Brandon Staley, my new bae, I'm talking to you. Get it in your offense. Now, are you ready for the new stupidness?
Okay, let's hear it.
I want teams to try this more, and I don't understand why it doesn't happen, especially with the taller wide receivers and especially on Hail Mary plays. Tell me why this wouldn't work.
Oh, God.
Quarterbacks need to focus on aim. Okay, let's we got a guy, Calvin Johnson, we got Julio Jones and Randy Moss, a tall freak of a guy. Mo Alley Cox for the Colts. Let's do that. You have a receiver. I need you to chuck the ball almost completely out of bounds, not like 50 feet over, but going out of bounds to where no one can get it. I need this to be a set play. I need the wide receiver to jump out of bounds, catch it in the air, and throw it back to one of his players that are waiting for it, that are ready for it, that no one will be around. Why would they be around him? It will work, bro. It would work.
Do you know how hard that is to
No,
throw the
it's not
ball
that
50,
hard.
60 yards down the field and time it perfect?
You just got to throw a little out, but don't get me. I didn't say 50, 60 yards. I mean, Hail Marys, I think it would
You
work
said
more than
Hail
what they do
Mary,
now.
didn't you?
Well, I'm thinking about for Hail Marys. I'm thinking about towards the back of the end zone. Throw it out the back, jump up, grab it, throw it to something. And if you don't have it, you got to be, it's going to take some athleticism. Don't get me wrong. If you don't have it, throw it at the ground.
That might be the most ridiculous one you've came up with.
No,
so
it's
far.
not. It would work more than you think, and you can dump out of it. Just throw it to the ground if it doesn't work.
Why do you want to take a chance on?
Well, these are late game situations where.
Why not just get open and throw it to the open receiver?
Sometimes these are in late game situations where this type of ridiculousness is called for.
So you're just thinking there's going to be no defender around the.
The defender's going to be there. Cornerbacks are smaller. You got to. It's like I'm picturing like you're throwing into the post. This is such a simplified version. It's so terrible. You're throwing into the post to, let's say, Rudy Gobert, guarded by Russell Westbrook, but not like he can't jump like that. So you get it up there. Only he can get it. He's got to take it. He's got to throw it back.
Stupid. This is so dumb.
What made me think about it was the rule. The thing is, can you dunk it from the foul line and it count as a foul shot? Stuff like that. Because you leave. It's from where you take off. So if you take off inbounds and throw it back, it's good to go. Y'all asked for this segment. I got line. Well, no, not dunk, but jump towards the rim and lay it in. Like, there's no reason you shouldn't be allowed to do that unless they make it to where you can't leave your feet. But in the NFL, you can leave your feet. So you're going out of bounds, you grab it, you throw it back. Hey,
the odds of that working, Brett, are so.
They're not that difficult. These are world-class athletes.
Oh my gosh!
Y'all asked for this segment.
Just get open.
Y'all asked for no. And in times that you can't get open, you're scrambling to the right. You're going to throw it away. Try to throw it just right. I need an accurate quarterback to do this. You got to throw it just right. Come on. Y'all asked for this. This isn't even the voice one I have. There's plenty more.
I wish
I got to stretch it out for the weeks.
I wish we had a little. I wish we had the budget to have like a little animation so you could show it.
I hope everybody's seeing it right. Okay, I'm gonna end up drawing animation. You throw it to where only they can catch it. They catch it. They catch it like that, and they find open receiver who should be where they think they're gonna be. Apparently, they're suspended in the air for like 10 minutes.
Apparently, the defensive backs are just not doing anything.
They're tiny, bro. They're tiny. They've never seen this before. They don't know what to do.
Okay.
So you take it and you throw it back like 3 or 4 yards. You throw it back to somebody, and they take off.
Okay. Wow. Can't wait to get the feedback on this segment.
That's Brett's big brain. Now, see you next week. When I talk, I'm going to go ahead and give a spoiler for next week. Next week, I talk about what players and the offensive players other than the quarterback should be doing more often than they do. Actually, they don't do it at all, and they should be doing it all the time. All right. No one's going to guess it. No one's going to guess it, so I can give the spoiler. Are you ready for week 6? Do you think we should fulfill our obligation to the people? We've already gone near an hour, by the way.
Well, might as well go a little bit over. All right, so it's time for week 6 predictions. Are you ready?
Are you ready? Yes.
All right, so first,
Triple H. That's Triple H. Yeah.
My team will be taking on the Hurricane Wampus Cats.
Wampus Cats.
Ooh. Will Lamar be able to duplicate his last week output against the Chargers? Maybe. Chargers do give up a lot of points. You have Kelsey against Washington. Rodgers is going against the Bears, who are the number 8 defense. And they lead the league in sacks. So I hope they kind of stay off Rodgers. I never thought I would ever say those words. But hey, fantasy-wise, I need him to stay healthy. I'm a little worried about DK Metcalf. What's going to happen in Seattle now that Geno is going to be the quarterback?
Shout out to the Barons going all in on Geno, spending the rest of his money.
Very nice. When you look at the Wampus Cats, he's got the 2 quarterbacks we always talk about, Murray and Herbert. And Knox, the tight end, we've talked about it. He keeps killing it every week. My defense is a little banged up, but I still think I have enough power. It says I'm favored by 41 points. So I'm going to pick myself again this week to go 4-2.
This is quite clearly, I will keep my promise, and I will say my promise every week. I am not going to pick the Wampus Cats, whatever type of cats. I mean, your team seems to be firing pretty well right now. Your running backs
They even got
I mean,
Carson
Moss ain't
Palmer.
back.
No.
Moss has turned out to be somewhat reliable. They seem to be depending on quite a bit. Juju's out, so we'll see if Claypool get some more love.
Yeah.
Amazing catch by him this last week, by the way. Tony Pollard has not taken away from Zeke like some thought he would have. Like it showed earlier in the year. Now, I do agree that James Conner is looking a little bit better, taking a lot more share away from Chase Edmonds. Shout out Pharmacist. Tough go with him last week. Womp, womp. And I am very curious to see. I'm diving deep into the Wampus Cats. I told myself I wouldn't do it, but I am curious to see what Amon-Ra St. Brown does with the injuries in Detroit. But
Nice.
For the pick, obviously, the River Rats. Hate to see your success. River Rats go to 4-2.
Next, we have the Boboli Bearded Bastards taking on the Kanawha County Kings, childhood friend matchup. The Bastards are a little snake bitten, but they are a 42-point favorite. Spent big time on Geno Smith, like you covered. Derek Carr against Denver. It's going to be interesting to see how the Las Vegas Raiders bounce back after this tough week that's been going on there. CMC is probably going to be back. That's McCaffrey, if any of you people didn't know the initials there. Though Jacobs is going against Denver, and Denver is the number 3 defense, and they're only giving up about 85 yards a game. You look at the Kings. I mean, I was looking at his team and Buston's team. I just don't see on Tim's team where he's got any young players that he can look forward to in the future. Maybe, I guess, Mac Jones.
I think both his quarterbacks potentially. Heineke.
You think Heineke?
You don't think he's going to stay?
I don't know if he's going to be I just like obviously the Wampus Cats 2 quarterback system better.
Oh yeah.
But I just don't. The jury's still out on Mac Jones. But I just don't see much on this roster to be excited about. Sorry, Tim. I'm not trying to knock you, but I think the Bastards are going to get an easy win this week.
Well, the thing with Mac Jones, and maybe this is what you need on your team, but the reason why myself, I know Matt was this way. I think maybe Mike, maybe also. I could be wrong on that last one, but they were more partial to Zach Wilson. And the reason why is not the players themselves, I don't think, at least not in my mind. Is Mac Jones ever going to be able to just cut it loose? Is he ever going to be able? I mean, I know it's early. It's the rookie quarterback.
Really
It's extremely early. You're going to be able. You're going to protect them. Obviously, it's not like Fields or Lance or Lawrence are being able to just fire.
Right.
But I worry about that. I worry about that. You just got a young Kirk Cousins, something like that. In that vicinity of player, a Jared Goff or someone like that. Maybe not, but we'll see. I don't see Bill. He had that 1 year with Brady where he let Brady fire it off with Moss in that amazing year. Could be wrong, but I am interested to see what they do with Heineke. This is a perfect week for the Barons to get Barons Bastards. I don't know. I guess we're saying bad. I don't know. The Bastard Barons to get Jacobs with a tough matchup, to get McCaffrey back. He might be eased back. That's a little bit of a fear. But I do like getting Geno in there where it's Jameis on bye. So that's kind of why you pay up like he did. Barons get the win. They go to 3-3. The Kings fall to 1-5.
1-5. All right. Next, we got the Marmet Midnight Riders traveling to Dunbar to take on the newly 1-win team, finally on the win board. Win board. Is that even a word? Anyways.
On the board with a win, I believe is the phrase we were looking for.
Yes. This has the Midnight Riders as a 21-point favorite. You got Teddy going against Las Vegas. It's got Donald as his other number 2 quarterback. How far Baker Mayfield has fallen on this team. He doesn't even start anymore.
It's a strict regiment in Marmet, whether you can start or not. There's no games being played.
Yeah.
Literally, you're not playing.
Yeah. I did notice last week, I might have covered it. He did have the most highest points on the bench, but he still got the victory. He had 172 points on the bench. Looking at the comparisons, the Dobermans only have, according to ESPN, 3 advantages, and that is his 2 quarterbacks and Najee Harris. What happened to Odell Beckham? Is he done? Because he just looks like trash. He does have Deontay Johnson, who's he was already doing really well. Now with Juju out for the season, that's going to be all, he's going to get a lot of looks. Antonio Brown looks good. Like I said, this team's on the up and coming. Needs a couple more little spots. He needs a tight end. But I'm going to stick with the Midnight Riders this week, and I think they win by about 10 points.
I like the specificity of the score. By the way, shout out to getting the winter months here in Florida. Did not realize the old sun goes down in this room a little bit earlier, so we're getting dark here in Melbourne. Now, perfect day behind you, by the way. In this game, Marmette and the Dunbar Dobermans, Baltimore's defense, not what it was, not what we were used to it being. So it's not the scary matchup for Eckler that it would have been, or Mike Williams, or Keenan Allen. We're going with all the Chargers here this time. Mike Williams showed out, so he got himself back into good graces, back in the lineup. On the Doberman side, Josh Allen is going to eat again this week.
Yeah.
Najee Harris also has an amazing matchup with the Seahawks.
If Burrow plays, and I think he is, he'll have a big game against the Lions.
Yeah, I do like his matchups a lot. This is going to be a little bit more close. I actually agree with almost your entire prediction. A little bit more close than what Marmette might be comfortable with. But the Midnight Riders get the W.
All right, next we go with your team on the road, taking on the defending champs, Cross Vegas Gamblers. Can't really do a point spread right now because he has.
Oh, you can. I'm a 10-point favorite. Lock it in.
Yeah, he also has 3 people not in his starting lineup.
Lock it in.
Okay, lock it in. I'll give you the 10-point road favorite.
Yeah.
Dalvin Cook should be back. I know he's a little bit questionable now. He still has Madison in his lineup.
Yeah, he has that.
So Minnesota, I don't even remember who they're playing. Doesn't really matter, I guess. Well, they're playing Carolina. Actually, it does matter.
Yeah,
it does matter. Because Carolina, I believe, is the number 2 ranked defense in the league. So that's a tough matchup for him. He does have the GOAT on Thursday against Philly.
That's a great matchup for him.
Yeah, I agree. Daniel Jones, I'm a little bit worried about with the Rams. He might get they can get to him. I think he can get rattled.
Is Daniel Jones going to play?
He's still questionable.
I haven't followed this. I just assumed that he was not. I haven't followed what's happened since the game Sunday.
Well, if he doesn't, he'll probably start Carson Wentz.
No, still Carson Wentz, which isn't bad.
Against the Texans, yeah.
But I just assumed Daniel Jones is not going to.
Looking at your team, your running backs have all the advantage compared to his running backs as of right now.
Name my running backs. Say their names.
Okay, Antonio Gibson, Damian Williams, Devontae Booker.
Woo!
Alrighty. Nice pickup, by the way. I would think whoever had Barkley would have picked him up.
You would think.
Didn't.
We're broke as a joke now in Melbourne.
You got Dak going against New England. That might be a little tough. New England's defense is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I hate that you have to start a Malcolm Brown in your second offensive position.
That position's up for fight still. We're still.
Okay.
There's a competition for the old OP position.
You guys see how the practices work out?
Yeah, God.
If you had another quarterback in there, I don't know. I might be able to pick you. I do like Devontae Smith. He has 7 catches in both of his last 2 games. Looking nice.
He gets that Tampa Bay secondary.
Yeah, he should probably get a lot there.
He'll get Sherman on him, you would think, right? Is Sherman guarding the one?
I don't know. Maybe
he might not be.
I don't know. And then Mark Andrews, stud. With all that said, I'm still going to have to go with the home team here. Sorry. I think the Gamblers are going to win this by 25 points.
25? I wouldn't even be that mad. All right. Looking at this, let's go to some history that was divulged. It didn't make a turn. Divulged by the by the Thunder Buddies podcast. Shout out to Jaron for putting in the work as far as doing the head-to-heads. That is a lot of work if you don't keep up with it every year. So to start from scratch in the 10-year league is really difficult.
Best commissioner out there, even though he's
yes, sir.
Even though he's
he's a jerk, but he's good.
No, he is the best.
Record against the Gamblers, 1-11.
Wow,
that's absolutely awful. And I don't look to improve that here. Although because of my running back acquisitions and the injuries to the rest of the league, we are somehow in a decent spot. And they're going to start 3 running backs. I didn't think I'd start 3 running backs all year. So we might start 4 in the OP position. Amazing. I would never have thought that. I got 1 week of glory with being able to start 2 competent quarterbacks, which resulted in a win, by the way, people, if you didn't remember. I'm going to pick myself still to get this W.
Right. I like it.
I'm not going to pick against myself this year unless it's painfully over the top obvious. But this ain't it. So if I went 2 in a row, if I beat the Pharmacist and then I beat the defending champ Gamblers without Calvin Ridley, without Jerry Jeudy, with 1 quarterback, I don't want to put it too mildly. I might be the greatest. All right. Next game.
And next up, we got Polka Pharmacist.
Getting dark at a rapid pace here. All right, go ahead.
Coming off that heartbreak loss to your team last week, going to Roxalana to take on the Renegades. The Pharmacists, I'm not liking a lot of their matchups this week. Tannehill going against Buffalo, the best defense right now. Then his other quarterback, Cousins. Does he even have him in his lineup? He does not right now. So he could go Big Ben, but I would think if you're trading a first-round pick, you're going to put him in your starting lineup. But he's going against Carolina, which is the number 2 defense. You got Zeke that's banged up going against New England. I touched on how their defense is pretty good. You look at the Renegades, you got Stafford versus the Giants. I think that's going to be a lot of points for Stafford. Goff going against the Bengals. Swift also against the Bengals, who's still on pace for 98 catches, which is probably hurting. Like we said, TJ Hawkinson, he hasn't been getting a lot of catches lately. Right now, the Renegades have Kyle Pitts in his lineup. They're off. So, and the Pharmacists have 3 guys on the lineup that are off. So, can't really go by this point spread. I am liking how the Renegades are looking. Taylor and Swift, nice. I don't even know how Jalen Waddle's been doing this year. Has he been doing all right?
No, he struggled with with Brissett. 42 rank wide receiver on the year, not been great. Showing flashes, he's got the talent, but that quarterback situation there is a rough.
Yeah, that's tough. I love his defense in this matchup. He's got some really nice players. I don't want to be like Phil and name them all. I know I picked Polka to win it all, and I don't like rooting against them since I predicted them, but I'm going to have to say going with the Renegades. They're an up-and-coming team. I like where they're going. I'm going with them with the win this week.
Look, here's the deal. Just because we haven't hit on enough. Last week's game for the Pharmacists. We haven't talked about it enough yet. Last week's game for the Pharmacists. I don't know if you saw Mr. Diggs. This is just a perfect encapsulation of the attitudes down there in Polka. Up there from where I'm at in Polka. Diggs catches that long bomb, doesn't see the defender. I don't know if you all saw this or you remember it. Doesn't see the defender. It appears to me that he starts to showboat like he's going to score a touchdown, gets caught, doesn't catch another ball all night. And honestly, I don't know if the Pharmacists are ready to recover from the mental damage that they suffered at the hand of losing the Savage Bowl again.
Are you saying his players are a reflection?
I think they're messed.
What you're saying?
It's a rough time to be a Pharmacist. It's a rough time to be a Pharmacist. So, looking at this, I can see it, and Eric sees right through it. The Renegades GM sees right through it too. Don't try to jump on our bandwagon now. Look, you didn't love me at 4-9. You can't love me at 2-3.
I'm sorry, but
I love these running backs.
I like it.
I love these running backs. I really like Stafford, of course. I wish he had Montgomery. He doesn't right now, obviously. but I think they're going to make it through here. Like you said, at least defensively, like the Renegades to get the W.
All righty. So now we go to the game of the week.
Some people mocked the game of the week selection last week, and it actually turned out to be very good. Carry on.
Yeah, it did. We have the Wake Forest Lumberjacks traveling. That would be north to South Hills. That's weird. North to South Hills to take on the Commish and the Evil Empire after they suffered their first loss of the season. I look at the Lumberjacks, and the first thing I say is, he only has one quarterback. He's got and it's a rookie, Trevor Lawrence. Oof. And his matchup, he's got Derrick Henry, who's been killing it. He's the number one running back, but he's taking on the Bills. You know that Bills defense is going to be pumped up for that. I do like Chubbs going against Arizona. Arizona's giving up 139 yards a game rushing. Lockett without Geno is just like me with DK or Lockett with Geno.
Right.
It's going to be interesting to see how that works out. You look at the South Hills Evil Empire. I think Mahomes will do all right against Washington. That defense is not as good as everyone thought they were going to be. Jalen Hurst, I think he's still going to put up points against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's D is not that great.
What was his name?
Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
What did I say?
I thought you said Hurst.
No, who knows with me? I butcher names all the time.
Not us.
Joe Mixon and Jamar Chase against the Lions. They should feast on that.
I'm noticing something here. Go ahead. Finish your prediction.
Okay. And
completely dark.
Cooper Kupp's going to get a ton of points against the Giants. So I think this is going to be a blowout. It's pretty sad that it's the game of the week because it's going to be a blowout. So I'm taking the Commish. Easy victory.
Look, would you say that this schedule and these matchups favor one team more than the other?
Yes.
Look at these matchups. Lawrence. Matt Ryan on bye when he's playing at an elite level right now. We already went into it. Derrick Henry gets the tough Buffalo defense. Aaron Jones gets Chicago. That's terrible as well.
Yeah.
And I look on the other side, and Tyler Lockett with Geno. Maybe somebody knew that was going to happen. I look on the other side, like you said, Washington defense is nothing. The Bengals get for Mahomes. The Bengals get the Lions. That's awful as well. Miami's rushing defense can't stop anybody. So James Robinson gets them. Cooper Kupp gets a beat up Giants secondary. This is interesting because one team is 5-0, and that team is going up against the 4-1 team, and that 4-1 team happens to do what? What is that 4-1 team in charge of before the season starts?
Schedule.
Oh,
did I get it right?
They make the schedule.
I got it right. Yes.
They make the schedule, and they get once again. You just hate to see it. Our pride and joy, young Philip. New father, by the way, such disrespect. New father. And
I see where you're going with this.
Yeah. It seems like he gets an awfully easy chance to take on what is, by definition, the KDFL's regular season juggernaut. That is Mr. Phil Ruxey at 5-0. He's going to get to derail him here, and all you guys are going to clap and applaud and say, Commissioner's doing so good. They're so good at the fantasy football.
Are you trying to say that the commission really doesn't like Phil?
I don't know. I don't know if I don't know. I think it could be like a Ramsey Reek situation. Honestly, I don't know.
It is kind of funny because I went through and looked at the schedules, like my schedule. I didn't look at anybody else's schedule, but I looked to see like my key players when they're out, and it seems like every time my key players are out, I'm playing a really good team, and they're not missing anybody.
Is it possible that the man who could not figure out how to make me not play the same person in back-to-back weeks is also evil genius enough to play? Maybe that's why I had to play the same guy back-to-back weeks, because there's a larger game. Oh, he's playing chess. We're all playing checkers.
Yep.
Oh, man. Shout out. I'm picking the Evil Empire to bounce back after a loss last week, improve to 5-1. Mr. Ruxey gets his first loss of the season, which I believe will go hand in hand with popping the champagne balls in the KDFL, where the last undefeated team falls.
Nice.
That's it.
All right. That's it, everybody.
We are much more long-winded than I think.
Yes, we are.
Great
So,
content.
Time to wrap up the show. We're going to do our picks. Last week, crap. I believe I went 5-1. You went 4-2. On the season, I am 22-8. You are 17-3.
What did you get wrong?
I got the.
He doesn't know. He doesn't know what I'm doing.
I know what you're doing. I got that game of the week. Anyways, moving on. Locks for the week. You tied. You had Packers -3.
Finally, a push.
So you got 0-4 and 1.
Oh, boy, baby. We got the money back in the bank account this week.
I had the Bills as my lock and upset. So I won both of those. 2-3 with my locks and 3-2 with my upsets. This week, I'm going with Dallas -3.5. And of course, I don't have who they're playing.
They're playing the Patriots. It's the second time you've asked about that specific game.
Come on, man. I'm old.
All
I
good.
can't remember
All
everything.
good. All good. Now.
And my upset.
Oh, yeah.
You have an upset?
Yeah.
It's my Chargers, not my Chargers. Why did I say my Chargers?
Mike's Chargers?
Mike's Chargers is what I meant to say. I have them beating the Baltimore Ravens.
I like it. All right. The Chargers upset. What are they? 4-1?
Yes.
Oh, what an upset. Why you got on them?
They're on the road.
Oh.
Baltimore's 3-point favorites.
3? Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm doing my upset of the week. Or no, I'm sorry. It's not an upset of the week. Sorry. My pick. I'm not doing this for the reasons people think. Ton of distraction. They're all in the news. Ton of distraction this week. The ultimate distraction. So I'm going with the Raiders getting 3.5 at Denver, and here are my reasons. It's not some symbolic pick of their overcome. No, it's not like that. Because if they were playing the Chiefs this week, they would get smoked because of everything that's happened. But I feel like it's going to be a good thing to be on the road this week instead of at home. Because what if you have the dynamic of the hometown fans boo the organization and do all that? Like that can create a whole big problem. They're on the road. That's good. And they're playing a very gettable opponent. The clock has kind of struck midnight on the Broncos. They came back to the earth after that hard start where they played no one. So I like the opponent that they have. And I also like it with the interim head coach that they went with. Apparently he is a very strong offensive mind and hopefully is really gonna, not handcuff the offense. So apparently the coach pick is very popular in the locker room. And I don't think a lot of people are going to be on the Raiders because of all the distraction. So I am going Raiders plus 3.5 on the road to Denver.
All right. I also wanted to add, Brett, you suck.
And with that, we will give out the phone number to call us, KDFL number 1901609 KDFL. That's 1901609 KDFL. You can reach Detroit at Detroit8374 on Twitter. You can reach Phil Ruxey at Phil Ruxey, Rukse. I am at Brett Steele 2, and the podcast is obviously at the KDFL podcast. So for Jonathan Detroit Haynes, for Mr. Phil Milk and Opportunity Time Ruxey, I'm Brett Steele, and we will see you next week with better lighting right here on the KDFL Fantasy Football Podcast.